Senator Royce West of Dallas, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and welcome back to Eye on Politics.
I appreciate it, and let me just say this before I start. My condolences to my Catholic brothers and sisters, the 1 billion of them, in the loss of the patron papal today, the day after Easter. So.
And I want to ask you about school choice because, as you know, it's going to come back to the full Texas Senate, perhaps as early as tomorrow or Wednesday.
True.
And this looks like a done deal, no?
It's pretty much is a done deal. The fact is that the governor was able to get his votes. I think it was, 82 in the House?
A little more than that.
A little more than that,
yeah.
Okay. Well, he was able to get his votes. And now school choice is passed in the state of Texas. And I'd say to those that have bemoaned this bill, should have voted, okay? And we wouldn't be here, but we're here now. And the question is, what do we do with this new sort of choice that we have in the state of Texas?
There's really nothing left for Democrats to do in the Senate, right? Because Republicans just dominate the upper chamber.
But you're right about that. Right now, they dominate the upper chamber because they have the votes. And the question is we can't whine about it. If we're ever going to make change, we've got to do it at the ballot box, and we hadn't done it yet.
Republicans have said that they are going to prioritize disabled students and low-income students for this program. I know Democrats have cast a lot of doubt about that. What do you have to say about it?
Well, I'm going to show me what you're going to do. Don't talk about what you're going to do. Show me what you're going to do. It's amazing when we think about it. The first iteration of vouchers was all about the poor kids, okay? And the way that we define, and under this particular bill, low income is families making under $160,000. All of those persons in that particular category, it's my understanding, will be placed on the same footing, okay? Not prioritized based on income within that particular bracket, but on the same footing. I could be wrong. I stand to be corrected on that. And if that's the case, then the reality is that the lowest of the income in that particular category won't get the benefit of this particular program, much like in other states.
And supporters have also said that, because we've heard Democrats say that this is really welfare for the wealthy. And Republicans flip it around and say this is giving, the non-wealthy students a chance to get into private school. So I guess the devil is going to come down to the details, right? But how important will it be to, once this program is set up and once you see the first year of students in there, that the state, take a look at that? And because your concerns were not only based on income, but on racial lines as well, right?
Well, my concerns is making certain all the students have a fair opportunity. And the only thing that I can do is compare what's happening in other states. And we look at what happened in other states, the students that were, the quote unquote, the program was designed for, they weren't able to take advantage of it. Go to Arizona as an example. You see that over 70% of the people who have benefited from voucher programs end up being the same students who are already in private schools in the first place. Not those students that are disadvantaged. The disadvantaged students, based on what I've seen, have gone back to the public schools.
And as far as the school funding issues are concerned, the House has passed HB2. It's going to give $7.7 billion in new funding for school districts, plus other bills that the House have passed will be another 1.3. So when you look at it, the House has passed $9 billion in new money. Is that something that, I know the Senate's going to now negotiate with the House on this, but is that something you're going to be pushing for?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you have heard our school districts over and over and over again say that they have to close schools because of lack of funding. They've had to they've had to fire people because of the lack of funding. And now, my deal is this: let's give the public schools what they're asking for, and then hold them accountable for the results that we expect from them. And if we don't get the results, then we need to look at another model, if you will, as relates to making certain that students are achieving in the state of Texas the way we want them to. And we've got to be able to compare them with other states and how those students are being prepared in other states for the future.
And I know you have raised questions about student performance when the Texas Education Agency Commissioner has come before the Senate.
Absolutely.
And because you're not happy about it.
Well, the thing is, I'm not happy about it, nor am I happy about the funding that school districts have received. I mean, I've got like 7, 8 school districts within my senatorial district, and I talk to the superintendents all the time about where they are, what their needs are. And from that vantage point, if we are able to get any real semblance of the House bill as it relates to funding, I think school districts will have the resources that they need. Now, given the resources, they may not have all the resources they need, but given the resources that they're going to be getting, the question is, what will you do with it? Will you perform, and can we hold the school districts through the Board of Trustees accountable for the performance that we expect and should receive from our school districts in the state of Texas?
Are you comfortable with the House program? I know you said you like the idea of $9 billion in new money. Is that significant in your mind?
That is very significant. On top of what is already in the budget, is very significant.
And my last question just is about school security. And we know there was a very unfortunate incident at Wilmer Hutchins High School, which is in your district, last week.
Correct.
4 students shot. What do you make of this situation?
It's just getting worse in terms of school security in this country, not only here in Dallas, but throughout this country. It seems like almost every day now we're seeing a school shooting or a shooting close to our schools down. Now, what happened at Wilmer Hutchins? I graduated from Wilmer Hutchins, so I've got an affinity there, and I want to make certain that those students are safe. And so what I heard occurred was unfortunate. Now I'm wondering whether or not there will be alarms placed on those doors, so when a door opens up, someone in central administration knows that that door is opening up and can dispatch persons to that particular location as expeditiously as possible.
Did it surprise you that there weren't alarms on the doors?
It is very surprising. But just like anything else, change occurs as a result of the necessity of change. And I'm pretty certain that the superintendent and school district will do everything in their power to make certain that those doors down have alarms on them. And so if any door is open, then someone will know they're on that campus.
Do you think the state is giving enough money to school districts for security improvements?
More resources are necessary, given that school districts are basically saying that in order to put a law enforcement officer, which every school is supposed to have, save and except for waiver, costs about $100 a person. Okay, so therefore we don't have enough money in the system in order to do that. Now you got to take that and juxtapose whether or not you want a property tax cut and all the other priorities we have in the state of Texas, and then you say what's more important. Obviously, what's more important is making certain that our children are safe. We're getting to the point now that as we build and design schools, we're designing them like fortresses now, which is totally necessary but unacceptable based on what those institutions are supposed to represent. And so from that vantage point, we need to put more resources into security, but we need to be also a little bit more creative. There are models that are coming out now where we're using drones in order to go through various schools. We had a demonstration at the state capitol a couple of weeks ago in terms of being able to use drones in the schools and know, like, if you have a door that opens or something like that, you're able to dispatch drones to that particular location to see exactly what's going on. So there's creativity that's occurring that may very well help drive down the cost too of securing our schools.
State Senator Royce West of Dallas, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much also.